Your place is with the Chancellor, Kenobi. Not this time.
He's returned.
Then so have I.
You are no match for me. This ends now.
You feel it too.
The war was ending. At least, that was what the Jedi Council believed. General Kenobi's victories had scattered the Separatists, and Count Dooku's death left the Confederacy in disarray. But when reports came that Maul had resurfaced on Mandalore, Obi-Wan felt a disturbance far more personal than any battlefront. He could sense it through the Force, an unfinished wound calling him back to where it all began. The Council warned restraint. Mace Windu argued the Republic could not afford distractions, and Yoda urged patience. But Obi-Wan could not silence the echo of Satine Kryze's final breath, or the image of Maul standing above her body with that mocking grin. He knew Anakin was troubled, drawn ever closer to Chancellor Palpatine, yet he convinced himself the Council could manage without him just this once. That night, under the shadows of Coruscant's skylanes, Obi-Wan boarded a Republic shuttle with only Commander Cody and a handful of troopers. His orders were falsified, his departure unsanctioned. "Forgive me, my friends," he whispered into stars. But some ghosts cannot be left behind. When his ship descended over Mandalore's war-torn capital, he found a world already drowning in chaos. The remnants of the Shadow Collective clashed with loyalists of Bo-Katan Kryze, Satine's sister. Bo-Katan met Obi-Wan on the landing platform, her expression torn between gratitude and resentment. "You shouldn't have come, Jedi," she said, gripping her blaster. "You'll only make yourself a target." "I already am," Obi-Wan replied, as blaster fire thundered through Sundari's domes. The Jedi Master led Republic forces into the heart of Maul's stronghold. Every corridor echoed with memory. Every duel brought him closer to the man who had haunted his every failure. When at last they met, Maul stood waiting atop the shattered throne of Mandalore, his saber burning crimson in the haze. "You couldn't let me go, could you, Kenobi?" Maul taunted. "Even your precious order cannot cage your hatred." Their blades clashed, sparks scattering like falling stars. And as their duel consumed the Mandalorian night, far away on Coruscant, Anakin Skywalker knelt before a darker master. The galaxy's balance had already begun to shift, and Obi-Wan did not yet realize that by leaving, he had doomed his brother to the shadow. Chapter 1. Obi-Wan defies the Council to hunt Maul one last time. Chapter summary. As the Clone Wars near their end, Obi-Wan Kenobi faces a fateful choice. Haunted by Maul's survival and Satine's death, he defies the Jedi Council to pursue his old enemy on Mandalore. This decision fractures trust within the Order and shifts the entire course of the galaxy's destiny. Full chapter. 400 words of war was ending. At least, that was what the Jedi Council believed. General Kenobi's victories had scattered the Separatists, and Count Dooku's death left the Confederacy in disarray. But when reports came that Maul had resurfaced on Mandalore, Obi-Wan felt a disturbance far more personal than any battlefront. He could sense it through the Force, an unfinished wound calling him back to where it all began. The Council warned restraint. Mace Windu argued the Republic could not afford distractions, and Yoda urged patience. But Obi-Wan could not silence the echo of Satine Kryze's final breath, or the image of Maul standing above her body with that mocking grin. He knew Anakin was troubled, drawn ever closer to Chancellor Palpatine, yet he convinced himself the Council could manage without him just this once. That night, under the shadows of Coruscant's skylanes, Obi-Wan boarded a Republic shuttle with only Commander Cody and a handful of troopers. His orders were falsified, his departure unsanctioned. "Forgive me, my friends," he whispered into the stars. But some ghosts cannot be left behind. When his ship descended over Mandalore's war-torn capital, he found a world already drowning in chaos. The remnants of the Shadow Collective clashed with Loyalists of Bo-Katan cries, Satine's sister. Bo-Katan met Obi-Wan on the landing platform, her expression torn between gratitude and resentment. "You shouldn't have come, Jedi," she said, gripping her blaster. "You'll only make yourself a target." "I already am," Obi-Wan replied, as blaster fire thundered through Sundari's domes. The Jedi Master led Republic forces into the heart of Maul's stronghold. Every corridor echoed with memory. Every duel brought him closer to the man who had haunted his every failure. When at last they met, Maul stood waiting atop the shattered throne of Mandalore, his saber burning crimson in the haze. "You couldn't let me go, could you, Kenobi?" Maul taunted. "Even your precious order cannot cage your hatred." Their blades clashed, sparks scattering like falling stars. And as their duel consumed the Mandalorian night, far away on Coruscant, Anakin Skywalker knelt before a darker master. The galaxy's balance had already begun to shift, and Obi-Wan did not yet realize that by leaving, he had doomed his brother to the shadow. Coruscant shimmered beneath the morning sun, its spires reaching like daggers into the haze. The war seemed to pause, if only for a moment. Yet in the Jedi Temple, tension coiled tighter than ever. Obi-Wan's sudden departure to Mandalore had left a silence Anakin Skywalker could not ignore. He felt abandoned again. The Council had not trusted him with this mission, claiming his emotions toward the Chancellor made him unsuited. Their words stung deeper than any wound. Obi-Wan had always been his anchor, his reason to obey. Now, that anchor was gone, chasing a ghost of the past. Anakin's days became filled with briefings, interrogations, and quiet whispers from the Senate. Chancellor Palpatine ensured his presence was always requested, his voice always heard. In the Chancellor's office, the air was warm, inviting, filled with subtle poison. "The Jedi do not understand you, my boy," Palpatine said, his tone calm, paternal. "You have seen what they cannot. True power, true vision." Anakin wanted to deny it, but every argument from the Jedi seemed hollow now. Mace Windu's cold stares, Yoda's vague riddles, they made him feel small, restrained. Palpatine made him feel seen. And when dreams of Padme's death returned, the Chancellor's voice offered answers the Jedi refused to give. One night, Anakin stood alone in the council chamber, the city stretching endlessly beyond the glass. He remembered Geonosis, Mustafar, and the battles that defined him. Yet all his victories felt meaningless when the people he fought for, Padme, Obi-Wan, even the Republic, slipped further from his grasp. A hollow message from Palpatine arrived soon after. "Come to my office. There are matters the Jedi would keep from you." Anakin hesitated only a moment before obeying. Beneath the Chancellor's office, the truth began to twist. Palpatine spoke of the Force, of power beyond the Jedi's comprehension. He spoke of Darth Plagueis and the ability to save those one loved from death itself. As the shadows deepened across the city, Anakin's loyalty shifted inch by inch, bound by fear and love and the illusion of control. Far away on Mandalore, Obi-Wan fought Maul beneath a burning sky, unaware that the true battle for Anakin Skywalker's soul had already begun. Mandalore burned again. Cities that once stood as symbols of pacifism now echoed with the roar of gunships and the scream of blaster fire. The siege had begun. Republic troops fought alongside Bo-Katan's night owls, pushing to the shattered streets of Sundari in pursuit of Maul's loyalists. From the front lines, Obi-Wan Kenobi led with precision and restraint, but inside, he was unraveling. Every explosion, every fallen soldier, reminded him of Satine's dream of peace dying in his hands. The war here wasn't about strategy or orders anymore. It was about closure. "General, Maul's forces are retreating toward the throne room," Commander Cody reported. Through the calm, Obi-Wan nodded, his expression unreadable. "Then that's where this ends." The deeper they advanced, the more personal the fight became. Maul's traps were not just tactical, they were taunts. Burned banners bearing the symbol of the Cries line, ruined sanctuaries, messages scrawled into walls. You couldn't save her. Maul wanted him angry, unbalanced, ready to break his Jedi code. Bo-Katan confronted him between assaults. "You're not here for justice," she accused. "You're here for revenge." Obi-Wan didn't deny it. He couldn't. "Perhaps both," he answered quietly. By nightfall, the Republic seized the palace grounds. Mandalore's skies glowed red with flame. And then, silence. The trap was sprung. Maul's commandos descended from the rafters, their jetpacks igniting like comets. Cody's squad fought valiantly, but one by one they fell back, leaving Obi-Wan face to face with the shadow of his past. Maul emerged from the darkness, double-bladed saber ignited, his eyes burning with hate. "How many lives will you destroy, Kenobi, before you admit you are no better than I?" Their blades clashed with fury born of years of obsession. Every strike carried memory of Satine, of Kagan, of everything stolen between them. Yet in the midst of their duel, Obi-Wan sensed something new beneath Maul's rage. Fear. Maul knew something greater was coming. "You think this war is yours to win," Maul hissed, blocking a heavy strike. "But Sidious has already claimed your galaxy." Before Obi-Wan could demand more, Maul fled into the inferno below. Obi-Wan stood amid the wreckage, shaken by the name that echoed through the smoke, Sidious. For the first time, he realized this war was far larger than vengeance, and far deadlier than he ever imagined. Smoke curled through the ruined halls of Sundari's royal palace. Blaster fire faded in the distance, leaving only the crackle of flame and a hum of lightsabers echoing off marble and metal. Maul had fled into the lower levels, and Obi-Wan pursued, driven less by duty now and more by the need for answers. He found Maul in the old Mandalorian archives, wounded, kneeling among the shattered remains of a fallen civilization. The Formers had looked up as Kenobi entered, his red eyes burning with hatred and fear. "So it comes to this again," Maul rasped, gripping his side. "You think killing me will end it? You're already too late." Obi-Wan ignited his blade, its blue glow bathing the room in cold light. "Then tell me what you mean." Maul laughed bitterly. "You still serve them, the Jedi, the Senate, the Republic. Blind fools. All of it. Every war, every death. It's been orchestrated. My master, Sidious, controls it all." The name froze Obi-Wan where he stood. He had heard whispers of Darth Sidious, a phantom in the dark, but never proof. Maul continued, voice trembling with both rage and awe. "He trained me to build chaos, to feed the fear that will make the galaxy beg for order. The Republic will fall, Kenobi, and from its ashes, his empire will rise." Obi-Wan stepped closer. "Who is he, Maul? Who is Sidious?" Maul smirked weakly. "You've already served him. You've already trusted him." His laughter broke into a cough. "The Jedi are puppets dancing for their destroyer." Obi-Wan hesitated. For the first time, the lines between friend and enemy blurred. Could it be true? Could the Chancellor himself? No, it was impossible. Yet the Force whispered otherwise. Cody's voice crackled through the comlink. "General, we've secured the city. Orders." Obi-Wan glanced down at Maul, who stared up at him with defiance. "Go on, Kenobi," Maul taunted. "Kill me, as you killed her. But remember my words when the galaxy burns." Obi-Wan extinguished his saber. "No, Maul. This time, you'll live to face justice." As clone troopers dragged Maul away, Obi-Wan turned toward the skyline. A storm brewed on the horizon, something darker than war, older than revenge. And on Coruscant, the shadow of Sidious smiled, sensing the first tremor of discovery. The siege had ended. Mandalore was broken, its warlords scattered, and Maul, finally, was in chains. The Republic's flag rose above Sundari's domes, signaling victory. But beneath that triumph, Obi-Wan Kenobi felt only exhaustion and unease. Maul's words haunted him. Sidious controls it all. He stood beside Bo-Katan in the throne room, overlooking the smoking skyline. The Republic will rebuild, he promised, though even he didn't believe it. Something in the Force pulsed wrong, cold, sharp, familiar. At that moment, far away on Coruscant, Emperor Palpatine issued a simple command: execute Order 66. It began like a whisper in the dark. Clone commanders across countless worlds straightened, eyes flickering with hidden programming. And then betrayal. Blaster fire erupted in every corner of the galaxy. Jedi masters, warriors, and healers fell where they stood. On Mandalore, Commander Cody's comlink crackled with static. He turned toward Obi-Wan, his voice steady but strange. "It's time, sir." Before Obi-Wan could answer, Cody raised his blaster. The first shot grazed the Jedi's arm, scorching through armor and flesh. More clones joined in, men who had fought by his side for years, now moving with mechanical precision. "Cody, stand down." Obi-Wan shouted, deflecting bolts as explosions tore through the throne room. But the commander did not hesitate. Bo-Katan returned fire, yelling, "Your soldiers have gone mad. They're not themselves." Obi-Wan shouted back, leaping to deflect another barrage. Something's controlling them, some kind of signal. Maul, still imprisoned in his containment cell below, felt the disturbance ripple through the Force. His laughter echoed through the corridors. "So it begins." Obi-Wan and Bo-Katan fought their way out of the palace, dodging fire from every direction. Troopers who once saluted him now hunted him without hesitation. As the pair reached the landing platform, Cody himself appeared, helmet on, rifle raised. "Good soldiers follow orders," Cody said flatly. Obi-Wan froze. The words hit harder than any blaster bolt. In that instant, he understood this was Sidious's plan. The entire Republic had been set up, and the Jedi were being erased. Bo-Katan's ship roared overhead, providing cover fire. "Kenobi, we have to move." Obi-Wan turned away from his fallen brothers. Heartbreaking. The Republic he'd sworn to defend had just destroyed itself, and the age of the Empire had begun. Night fell hard over Mandalore. The flames of war still burned, but the silence that followed Order 66 was heavier than any battle cry. Hidden in the catacombs beneath Sundari, Obi-Wan sat in meditation, surrounded by flickering shadows and grief. He could feel the deaths, the Jedi extinguished like stars winking out one by one. Each loss struck through him, echoing across the Force. Plo Koon, Aayla Secura, Ki-Adi Mundi. Familiar presences vanishing into nothing. Yet one presence remained bright, powerful, conflicted. Anakin. He reached out, searching for his former apprentice, his brother. "Anakin, what's happening?" At first, he felt confusion, rage, pain. Then came clarity. A surge of energy so dark, so consuming, it drove the air from Obi-Wan's lungs. He saw flashes through the Force, red blades igniting, screams echoing in marble halls, the burning emblem of the Jedi Temple. "Anakin!" Obi-Wan gasped, gripping the ground as if to steady the galaxy itself. His vision blurred, replaced by a cold, suffocating dread. He saw Padme crying out. He saw clones marching to the temple, and above it all, Anakin's voice. But it was no longer the voice of the boy he trained. It was the voice of Darth Vader. Bo-Katan approached cautiously. "Kenobi? What's wrong?" He looked up at her, eyes hollow. "He's gone." "Who?" "Anakin." He rose slowly, each word trembling with disbelief. "He's fallen. He's killed the Jedi. He serves Sidious now." Bo-Katan stared, struggling to comprehend. "Then Sidious. He's not just a politician, is he?" Obi-Wan shook his head. "No, he's the Sith Lord behind this war. The one Maul warned us about. Outside, the last remnants of the Republic fleet were already pulling away from Mandalore. The galaxy was collapsing into the Empire's grasp. For a long moment, Obi-Wan said nothing. He closed his eyes, feeling the Force twist around him. An ocean turned black. His every instinct screamed to go to Coruscant. to stop Anakin, to save him. But deep down, he knew it was too late. When he opened his eyes, resolve replaced sorrow. If the Republic has fallen, then so must Sidious. And if Anakin stands with him, he hesitated, his heart breaking on the words, then I must face him. Far away, on Coruscant, Darth Vader turned his gaze toward the stars, sensing that his old master was still alive. The suns of Mandalore had not risen in days. Imperial ships now orbited the planet, their presence silent but suffocating. The Republic insignia was gone. The Empire's banner had replaced it overnight. Obi-Wan Kenobi hid among the wreckage of Sindari's palace, his robes torn, his hope thinner than ever. Clones once loyal to him now served the Empire. Bo-Katan's forces had scattered. Every transmission he sent to surviving Jedi met only static. The order was gone. Then, from the shadows of prison transport wreck, a familiar voice spoke. You feel it too, don't you? The darkness tightening its grip. Maul, shackled, bruised, yet somehow alive. The sight of him filled Obi-Wan with anger, but also something unexpected, recognition. They were both relics now, casualties of Sidious's design. You should be dead, Obi-Wan said flatly. Death and I are old friends, Maul sneered. But if you want to see Sidious fall, you'll need me alive. Obi-Wan's blade ignited instinctively. You expect me to believe you? I expect you to survive, Maul countered. Sidious has taken your Republic, your order, your brother. He will not stop there. You and I, two failures, are all that stand between him and total domination. The word struck like a wound. Obi-Wan wanted to reject them, to end Maul here and now. But through the Force, he sensed truth beneath the venom. Maul's rage burned not just from hatred. It burned from betrayal. Bo-Katan arrived, blasters ready. We're not aligning with that monster. Maul smirked. Monster or not, I know his plans. I know where Sidious will strike next, Mustafar. It's where he crowns his new apprentice. The name chilled Obi-Wan's blood. Mustafar. He saw fire and screams in his mind's eye. Anakin, he whispered. Maul stepped forward, chains clinking. Help me destroy Sidious. Kenobi, then you can face your fallen apprentice however you wish. The three stood in silence. The Jedi, the Mandalorian, the Sith, bound by the shadow of one man. Outside, TIE fighters roared across the Mandalorian sky. Obi-Wan extinguished his blade. If you're lying, Maul, I'll finish what I started. Maul smiled faintly. Then let's make sure he dies first. The volcanic world of Mustafar burned beneath an endless storm of ash. Rivers of molten rock carved through the planet's veins like liquid fury. It was here that Maul led Obi-Wan, claiming Sidious had come to oversee his new empire and his new apprentice. The two arrived in silence, cloaked in the black smoke of war. Maul's hatred burned hotter than the lava around them, but Obi-Wan's focus remained clear. Find Anakin, stop Sidious, end the nightmare. They reached the obsidian spire that now served as Sidious's stronghold. Inside, the air was electric, thick with the dark side's pull. Then from the shadows came the Emperor's voice, calm, cold, and mocking. So, my former apprentice and the Jedi who ruined him. How poetic. Sidious stepped forward, his head falling away to reveal the face of Chancellor Palpatine. Proof of Maul's warning. Obi-Wan's breath faltered. It's true, he whispered. Of course it's true, Sidious hissed, igniting twin blades of crimson lightning from his hands. Now you see the futility of your order's faith. The duel ignited like a storm. Maul struck first, his rage unbound, his saber flashing in wild arcs. Obi-Wan followed with measured precision, every movement controlled. For a moment, light and shadow clashed evenly, until Sidious unleashed his true power. A wave of force energy threw them across the chamber. Maul screamed, slamming into Durasteel. Obi-Wan barely blocked the next barrage of lightning, his body trembling under the current. Sidious's laughter echoed, deep and merciless. You think together you can stop what has already been set in motion? Maul lunged again, roaring, "You stole everything from me." Sidious caught him midair, twisting the Force like a vice. With a single gesture, he hurled Maul into a molten pit below. Obi-Wan's cry echoed as Maul vanished in flame, his last words a snarl of defiance. "He will destroy you, Kenobi, or die trying." Sidious turned, eyes burning yellow. "And now, Jedi, you will witness the true birth of the Sith Order." A vision seared through Obi-Wan's mind. Anakin kneeling, consumed by fire, a black mask descending upon his face. Sidious raised his hands to strike. Obi-Wan barely deflected the surge before hurling himself through shattered glass into the inferno below. The Jedi lived, but the galaxy now belonged to the Sith. Obi-Wan's fall ended hard, on a platform jutting from a mountainside. Smoke and molten heat engulfed the air. His robes were scorched, his lightsaber barely within reach. Above him, Sidious descended like a dark god, cloak billowing, eyes alive with malice. "You cannot hide from destiny, Jedi," the Emperor said, his voice cutting to the roar of lava. "You are relics of an order that refused to see the truth." Obi-Wan struggled to stand, clutching his burned side. His strength was fading fast. "The truth," he rasped, "is that you fear what you can't control." Sidious smiled. "And what I cannot control, I destroy." Lightning tore from his hands, striking Obi-Wan square in the chest. The pain was beyond comprehension. His body convulsed, his vision blurred. The Force itself seemed to scream. And then, movement in the flames. A figure clawed its way from the edge of the pit, half burned, barely alive. Maul. His horned silhouette rose through smoke and ash, rage and willpower alone, keeping him standing. Sidious turned in irritation. "You still live?" Maul's eyes blazed with pure hatred. "You trained me to survive anything." With a primal roar, Maul lunged, striking with every ounce of fury left in him. His crimson blade clashed against Sidious's, sparks scattering like dying stars. For a heartbeat, Obi-Wan saw it. The old apprentice defying his master, not for revenge, but for defiance itself. Sidious countered easily, his power overwhelming. "Foolish creature, you were always a tool." Maul snarled through blood. "Then this tool breaks you." He unleashed a final, desperate surge through the Force, slamming Sidious back long enough for Obi-Wan to recover his saber. But the effort cost him everything. Sidious retaliated with a strike that impaled Maul through the chest. Obi-Wan caught the falling Sith in his arms, lowering him gently to the platform. Maul's breathing was ragged, his anger fading to something quieter. "Kenobi," he whispered, a trace of peace in his voice. "He will come for you too. End it before it becomes me." Then Maul was gone. Sidious's laughter filled the air, dark and unbroken. "Touching," he sneered. "One rat dies to save another." Obi-Wan rose, tears streaking through soot. His saber ignited again, not for vengeance, but for resolve. The Emperor advanced, and the last true Jedi prepared to make his stand. The world burned. The Republic was dead, its ashes scattered across the stars. As Sidious crowned himself Emperor, the few who survived Order 66 fled into the void, hunted by the very soldiers they had once led. On a desolate moon at the edge of Mandalorian space, Obi-Wan Kenobi buried Maul's body beneath a shattered ridge. The wind howled across the plains, carrying the faint hum of the battle still raging above. For a long moment, he stood in silence, hands trembling over the grave. "May the Force finally bring you peace," he whispered. The Jedi Master was alone again, but Maul's final word haunted him. "He will come for you too. End it before he becomes me." Obi-Wan felt it now, through the currents of the Force. Anakin's light had gone out. What replaced it was something colder, deeper, bound in hatred. Across the galaxy, a shadow in black armor began to move. The few remaining communications from the Republic confirmed the worst. The Jedi Temple had fallen. Masters and Padawans alike were slaughtered. and at the Emperor's side stood his new enforcer, Darth Vader. Obi-Wan's heart broke in silence. His brother, his friend, gone. He watched the sun sink behind the horizon, the last light of Mandalore dimming into darkness. "I failed him," he whispered to no one. "I failed them all." But something in the Force stirred, a whisper, faint but unyielding. Not yet. He knew what he had to do. He could not challenge the Empire now. To fight openly was death. To survive was purpose. To wait was hope. And so he vanished. Ships searched the system for days, finding nothing. Rumors spread of a Jedi ghost slipping through patrols, moving silently across backwater worlds. By the time Imperial agents reached the Mandalorian moon, they found only Maul's grave and the word balance carved into stone beside it. Obi-Wan Kenobi was gone, but not defeated. In exile, he would watch. He would wait. And one day, when the time was right, he would face the son of Skywalker, the man Maul had warned him about. As he disappeared into hyperspace, Obi-Wan closed his eyes. "Not yet," he murmured, "but soon." The stars stretched forward, and the galaxy fell into shadow.